Well, hello again. This is Gene Harm, and I wanted to go through Train Sim World Cab Ride. And here you see me opening up the Train Sim World manual, which you can get for free if you go onto Steam. And then if you go all the way back to the end of the manual, you have the timetables. This is the east timetable going east to west and eastbound or westbound. Also some shorter operations. All these are in that timetable and worth taking a look at. Now, what you want to do, these are for when you want to use the services. The services are new to Train Sim World. You select service and then choose an engine that you want to play with. And I'm going to do the Jeep 38. And if you don't have the timetable in front of you when you're in the game, by choosing the service and the particular engine, you can see the timetable there as I'm going through. And if I select the 11:15 switching, you will notice that it's a Cumberland yard, and then you can go back and back again. And now you can select spawn walking, and by going first to the service for the engine and then going back to spawn walk, you notice it's 11:15, and you want to go back and spawn walk 15 minutes earlier, whatever it allows you to do. But notice the location of Cumberland Yard isn't selected, so you're going to want to go ahead and move along and select it yourself. And once you have it selected, you're ready to go and do your spawn walk. Now you're going to spawn at Cumberland Yard fuel area, and you can go then find your engine. Now when you look at the timetable, it tells you the job number, but it doesn't tell you the engine number, so you kind of have to go walking around looking for it. So let's see if this is it. One of the easiest ways to find out is to get in the cab, sit in the seat. Well, this seat is a crew seat. We can kind of go over to the engineer seat, and once you sit there, it says wait for service, and that says, oh, that's like 2 in the afternoon, so that's not 11:15. This is not the right engine for the service we want to do, and we don't want to be standing around waiting for 3 hours. So we got to go hiking around here in our spawn walk to find a particular engine, and there's a lot of them out here in the yard. That is the one we want. Now this isn't the Jeep 38 for sure, so it's not this one. So let's peek around the side of the building here, and I believe this could be the service. This could be the one we're looking for. It would be nice if we knew the engine number, and we could walk until we found it. Let's get on. So we got to lash up with 2 engines here. Let's go ahead and climb aboard. And as you will see, just like the other engine, there's nobody here. We're all alone. And let's sit down here and find out if this is the service. It is 11:15, and it is now just 11 o'clock. Now what happens is, if you sit down, you notice that the HUD comes up and you have complete control of the train. Now what we want to do today is we want to go for a cab ride and let the service itself, let the crew drive the train. The way that we do that is we have a different approach. I wanted to show you that approach. Now this different approach is we're going to go in back to the main menu and select the service, but instead of spawn walking, actually do what we did before. Select the service directly And by loading in that switching at Cumberland Yard for 11:15, it puts you right in the engineer seat, and it's 11:15 now, but you didn't want to be in control. So what you need to do is you need to stand up, get out of that seat, and you notice the crew is going to be there, but we need another engineer. And the way to do this is you got to step outside. I'm not sure how far away or how long you have to stay out of the engineer seat, but I just take a walk out here, and I'm going to zip through 2 minutes ahead. So hang on with me, and then after about 2 minutes it's going to ask you, you want to give up service? Yes. What you do, you notice that somebody else takes control of the train, and it immediately takes off. And notice you got an engineer in the engineer seat now, and you're not all alone, and it makes a lot more sense. So how do you go for the cab ride? I'm telling you, if you sit down in this seat and press the E key, don't do that, because if you do, it'll give you control over the train immediately. So what we do is we use the crouch command, that's the C on the keyboard, and you automatically crouch down, or appears that you sit down in that seat, and you can look around from there and see the rest of the crew. And now here you are. This is what we do, and within a few minutes you can see we can even look at the map, which is fantastic. Any of the other normal commands that you would do other than actually control the engine, because we don't want to control the engine, but we can look at the map, we can get back out and just enjoy the ride. If you're going over the mountain, you can just sit there in the seat and just do the cab ride for the whole service. Of course, we selected a switching service, so we're going back over the switch points and backing out. If we go out, we can actually do anything we want. We can walk around. The engineer and the crew is handling the train. You can walk around. Look, and we're going to back up into the string of cars, box cars right behind us. And one of the other things we can do here is we can actually pick over these crossover plates and actually walk across. Now, it doesn't allow you to directly walk. You have to actually bring out the activation key of the E key, and it's just not, I'm not hitting it quite correctly here. I don't know what I'm missing, but there are things you can do, including climbing up on the ladder while the train's running. And get a load of this and look over the top and watch take a ride up there and look around and look back behind you. Still having trouble with that. I'm trying to give up and go back into the cab and just enjoy the view, have a seat. Now, this is different from actually, I say it's different. It is actually quite similar to what I was doing before in my previous videos. I'll have a seat. Remember, hit the C key and it crouches you down, and it appears as if you're just sitting and riding and enjoying the cab ride. But yeah, in my previous video, I had posted a video called train hopping. I used the same menu setup where I went in, I found the service I wanted in the menu, went back out again. It automatically put me into this right time frame for me to spawn walk when I selected spawn walking, and then I would select the yard or wherever the appropriate location would be, go ahead and spawn walk a few minutes before that service about ready to take off. Then I jump on a box car and ride it, or intermodals, or one of the other type of cars, and go along for the ride. Yeah, basically you're doing the same thing here, but only you're you're getting the cab ride. And I really wanted to show you how that is done. And even though you're riding the cab, you're free to move about inside the cab. The crew's still there. You're not alone. You're a welcome passenger this time around. And you can actually work your way back. And I'm telling you, if I could figure out how to get across, whatever the secret handshake is, I can walk over to the latched up cab behind us. But you know, it is a lot of fun. One of the things that we can do with the Train Sim world is ride the cars, ride the engine, do a cab ride, climb up and down the ladders, you know, spawn walking. All this stuff is just fabulous. But here I go. I'll give it a try again. And eventually I will get the command to cross over. You hit the E, you've crossed over now. Like I said, you can't do a direct walk. You have to get the E command to allow you to, just like you would stepping down or stepping up into the engine. And then you can go over to this cab. And of course nobody's in this back one. The crew's up in the front, but we can sit back here and watch the action from back here if we want. And we just grabbed a hold of the string of boxcars, and now we're going to back it back up and spot them on a different yard track. So a lot of fun. Just hope you enjoyed this and learn something from it, and how you can go ahead and use the services to find in the menu system, use the service to find out what the scheduled timetable is. I mean, if you can, when you're in the game, it's the best way to do it. If you're out of the game, of course, you can use the manual to look at the time table. But it is it's kind of wonderful that you can look at the timetable and then spawn walk or choose a particular service and just hop on and take it actually from another perspective, another view. And you can take it from just as an observer and sit and watch and observe the operations. And actually, if you are not familiar with one of the services or one of the tasks, you can just sit and observe the crew doing it and learn from them before you set out and do it yourself. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and we'll catch you next time.